Hello everyone, it's Hayley, and today I'm going to be reviewing the hashtag It's Not Okay public lecture by Dr. Laura Walton Williams. So, uncoincidentally, this public lecture fell on quite a few significant dates. So, to start with, it was on the back of the Time's Up movement, and we were given white roses when we turned up in order to support that movement. It was also the anniversary of Representation of the People Act and hashtag Vote 100, so for that we had ballot cards, we could share our stories. Perhaps most relevant to the actual public lecture's subject matter was that it was Sexual Abuse and Sexual Violence Awareness Week, so we were given wristbands to support the hashtag It's Not Okay movement, and that is actually what the public lecture was called in honour of that. So it was a night where everything was being celebrated, but in a way that was serious but also empowering. The talk itself was actually extremely enlightening. It's not something I kind of follow that closely, and I don't go to public lectures very often either. So it was really nice to get a kind of different experience of this kind of part of student life. If you're aware of things like sexual violence, sexual abuse, the Time's Up movement, all the movements really, if you're aware of them consciously, then obviously change will happen a lot easier because you're going to be in turn spreading awareness to other people about it. And the way Laura delivered the talk was absolutely fantastic. So even though the subject matter is quite heavy really, she delivered it in a way that was light-hearted but also keeping the importance there of what the subject we were talking about. I thought it was going to be a bit down because obviously the subject matter being sexual offences, I kind of didn't expect that I couldn't come out feeling down because I thought, well, I'm going to see something this heavy. But actually the way Laura delivered it was fantastic. At one point there was even an interactive element. We used our phones to answer questions, and that meant that the entire audience could get involved. So we could see in a visual format what the majority thought, and actually it was quite enlightening. And the last task specifically, where we were asked to write down 3 words to describe a victim of sexual abuse, and the words that were most popular came up bigger and the words that were not used as often were smaller. And interestingly, none of the words that I wrote were the bigger words, so I don't know what that means, whether that's good or bad, but it was just a very interesting task and I quite enjoyed doing it in that context. It was great. And most of the students that attended the talk were from the science, forensic, law background, and actually it didn't matter where you're from, what part of the university you're from. It was relevant to everybody and relevant to society in general now. So actually I would kind of plead with you to consider going to public lectures, even if they're not based around subjects that you're necessarily interested in or studying. It's really important to, make use of the things that are on offer whilst you're at university. And actually at the end of the talk I caught up with Dr. Laura Walton Williams and I asked her to plead with you guys to come to more public lectures, and I hope to see you there in the future. But here's Laura.
So I would suggest that my public lecture is relevant to everybody. These are issues that influence everybody, and whoever you are, at some stage in life, you will come across some issue that relates, or you'll read about some issue that relates to sexual offences. And in order to educate yourself, to challenge some of these preconceptions, you need to know a little bit more about it. So that's why I would try and kind of get you to come along these things. And fundamentally, that's why you go to university, is to challenge preconceptions and to become a deeper thinker. And I think public lectures are a really great way for you to do that.
So thank you for watching, and if you are interested in going to any public lectures, make sure to check on the staff's uni events pages. On the 8th of March it's International Women's Day, and there is a public lecture around that, but I will be attending that too. But that still doesn't mean that if you're not necessarily interested in that you shouldn't go. It will still be an engaging, interesting talk that you will get something out of. So I hope to see you there. See you soon.